Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am taking you to visit a Zimbabwean farmer who has managed to grow his native crop right here in the heart of Cambridge, UK. I have Mr. David Manaka here, who's kindly allowed us to come and visit his farm. There's maize which has already been harvested. So I've got him here, and he's going to tell us a bit about himself. And then I'll be asking him some questions so that you out there, you can be able to also understand and maybe get to know him and understand what kind of business he's doing. So over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, my name is David Manaka, as she has told you. And this is where I am. We're in Cambridge, and we grow maize, that's our main crop. We also grow some other vegetables, exotic vegetables in the UK, that's to say. Things like mustard leaves, pumpkin leaves, and also pumpkins. We've got kale, and kiwano fruit, or kiwano melon, or jelly melon, yeah. And we do have a lot of other exotic vegetables as well.
Right.
So we tend to grow crops that are different from what most traditional farmers in this country grow.
So mostly exotic. Yeah. Wow, I like that. So can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
I was born in Zimbabwe, and I came over in 1991. And unfortunately, when I came to the UK, we didn't have things like white maize, and that's what led me to start growing white maize, because I grew up in Zimbabwe eating white maize, and I enjoyed it, but I came to the UK, it wasn't available. And most of the crops that I grow are all centered on things that are probably consumed in the UK, but they're not grown in the country.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love white maize, so thank you so much, for doing that. But I can imagine white maize growing white maize in this country. How was it? I should ask.
Started in my back garden.
Oh, right.
Because then, the crop was never grown in the UK, so I had no idea if it was going to work or not. So it was more of an experiment, starting from my back garden, until I think our first piece of land was 10 acres in North London, Enfield. And then from there, that's when I realized I could actually grow a lot more than just the 10 acres. So right now we're on around 485 acres.
Wow.
Yeah, this farm is 485 acres.
Wow. So you just started like planting maize just to taste how it is and enjoy it rather.
Yeah. When I started, it was for myself and my family. It was really... my wife and it was just the two of us who really enjoyed eating white maize. Our children, they don't really like it.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So, and from there, I realized that people in church, I used to go to a church in Tottenham, North London. Yeah, they also enjoyed eating white maize, and that's where I realized that it wasn't just my family, but there were lots of people there who enjoyed eating white maize. And that's how I started as a business. But when I started, I didn't think it was going to be a business that would really sustain us.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I should think maybe there were obviously some challenges in growing an exotic plant in the UK, considering the weather in this country.
The weather is the biggest problem. Just as you can see, it's winter now. I always say in winter we grow snow or frost. Unfortunately, there's no frost or ice today. Usually in winter or in some months, sometimes we do frost as well and snow. But it's very challenging in the sense that maize itself is a tropical crop. And then you are growing it in the UK, which, as far as you know, the weather here is it's unpredictable, if you have to say. And so there's a short window for crops like maize to grow in this country. So you got to know when and which varieties to grow.
Right.
That's the most important thing. And it took me years, really. I mean, something like 6 years to just get it right.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I was actually doing it in my back garden.
Wow. So, besides the weather, what other challenges did you find?
Yeah, well, the other challenges you have is, I mean, if you look across there, I think you can see over there, you can see all those crows sitting on trees.
Yes.
There are lots of them,
Over there,
hundreds of them, yeah.
Yes.
So just imagine you've got a crop of maize coming through here, germinating.
Mm.
The crows will start from the very first day that you plant the maize. They'll start following just behind you and eating the first of all, starting the seed. Is it the moment you plant the seed, they'll come around and pick it, up to when it's got something like 4 or 5 leaves. And unfortunately, it's cold in this country, and because of that, it takes a long time for the maize to escape from a bird damage, crow damage. So it can take something like 2 weeks when crows are damaging. By then, you could easily lose something like 100 acres or so. Like when I started, because people didn't know there's white maize in the country, so I actually had to start sort of like building a network across the UK so that people would know there is white maize in the country and we got these products that we do grow here. Because I mean, I remember the very first day that I harvested white maize, I went to Tottenham, where I used to live. I went to a church in Tottenham and I tried to sell the maize there. Nobody bought the maize because they thought I had imported from Africa or
You're selling sweet corn, maybe.
yeah. So I was so disappointed because I left the place without even making a sale. So I had to think how I could sell my produce. So it took me a while to really start selling my produce because then no one knew the product was available.
Yeah, because definitely how the maize from here is really nice. I mean, all Zimbabweans in the UK, I'm sure out there you know what we are talking about. It's very nice and tasty. And as you said, obviously it's exotic. It's different from the sweet corn that they plant in this country, grow in this country, yes. Yeah. In terms of customers, you mentioned a lot of Zimbabweans or maybe Africans who know about this type of maize. Do you have any other customers who are not from Africa?
Yeah, I do have a lot of customers from South America, from Asia, and also from other African countries. And apart from that, I also do have like the locals who are interested in trying something new. So people are always interested in trying something that they've never eaten before.
That's true.
So yeah, that's how people get, even us Africans, we didn't have potatoes, did we?
No.
But we do eat potatoes. Well, for a start, maize wasn't, it was introduced to us from I would say South America. So maize is not African.
No.
Yeah. So we only started eating maize because it was introduced to us. The same thing, I also got white people in this country who are starting eating maize because I've introduced it to them.
Wow. Yeah. Obviously, the business has grown so big now. In terms of how do you manage in terms of the labor force?
Yeah, well, it can be a bit of a challenge, especially when you're harvesting, because maize is hand harvested. You got to hand pick it, all of it. You can't really use a machine because then there's the element of it not maturing at the same time. So if you use a machine, it's probably just going to pick everything and you end up with a lot of waste. So we do hand pick it, and that time we need a lot of people to pick maize. And yeah, we do sometimes have challenges. Before, we used to have a lot of people from Eastern Europe, that is from Poland, from Romania, Bulgaria, who used to help us. Now they are gone because of Brexit. They're gone.
Because of Brexit, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we do try here and there we do get people from people from the from around here, and because it's more of seasonal, yeah. But off season we don't need a lot of people because much of the work here is done. It's all mechanical.
All right.
Yeah, much of the plowing, planting, and yeah, anything.
Mechanical.
Yeah, it's mechanical. Except picking.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. In terms of growing maize, from which months do you grow the maize to? Because obviously now we are in winter, as you said.
We're in
There's
winter,
not much
yes.
happening now.
Yeah. There won't be much anything happening until next year for probably 4 months. Yeah. The thing is, when the UK is different from, let's say, Africa. In Africa, we just know, when it comes to, if it's our summer, if it's November, it's warm enough, we can start planting maize. This country, what they used to say in the past is that if you want to know if the ground is ready for you to plant, you take off your trousers, you sit on the ground. If it's too cold, then leave it. Come back next time when it's a bit warm. So
That's interesting.
there isn't set time to say, well, now it's spring or it's summer. Now start doing it. It just depends whether the ground itself is warm enough for you to start planting.
All right. What sort of months do you start having the maize ready for people to buy?
We usually start from mid-July to end of November.
All right.
That's our season,
Uh-huh. And then I understand you have frozen maize.
Yeah, we do. We do
for the
freeze maize as well. Yeah, when you harvest, we don't sell all of it. We freeze some of it and then we sell it off season.
All right. So right now, guys, although we are in winter, there's lots of maize for you to come and purchase. What can you say to someone who's, for example, like me, and I want to do farming? Is it something that you would advise some of these some of us Africans who want to do business in the UK, or maybe even the locals?
I normally say if you've got a passion to do something, go for it. As long as your passion is not to break into a bank. If you've got a passion, then that passion will drive you. Yeah, so it's not a matter of I just want to be a farmer because I saw someone farming. But if that's your passion, then it will drive you when things are tough. Because farming is really difficult, especially in the UK. That's why the whites left this country, went to Africa, went to other parts of the world, because it was easier. It was a lot easier farming in Africa or in Australia or in other parts of the world than in the UK. It's that you want to farm, because it's not a matter of I've decided to grow bananas and I want to grow bananas in the UK. It's, well, can you grow bananas in the UK or not? Yeah, well, if you can carry out some experiments, if you know you can, and then you tried it and it worked, then maybe grow bananas in the UK. So far, as far as I know, you can't. Until you prove everyone that you can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
So in terms of starting a business, obviously needs a lot of resources. One of the things is finance. How can someone start a business like this in the UK in terms of finances?
I would say that the problem is not much of finance. The problem is, are you motivated to do it?
Right.
I would say I started with, I think, £200. Yeah. So it's not a lot of money that anyone in this country could say I can't have £200. But is this something that you can do? Have you done your research? Research is one of the most important things in business. I know back home, we're in the habit of just doing something because my neighbor is doing it. You go to, like, I always, like, when I go back to Zimbabwe, drive from Harare to Mutare. And along the way, when I'm going past places like the headlands of Maronde right there, you see people selling tomatoes on the sides of the road. Everyone is selling tomatoes.
Yes.
I mean, you could have 100 people, all of them selling
That's
tomatoes.
Right.
But then, imagine I'm in a car, I can only buy from one person. I can only buy tomatoes from just one person. And so everyone else can't buy anything because you're all selling the same product. But then if you are selling tomatoes, yams, oranges, pawpaws, different
Varieties.
Yes, yeah. Then I can almost buy from all of you. So it's a matter of choosing what it is that you want to do, know what you want to do your research, and then go on to do it.
So what would you say to young Zimbabweans especially? Because, I mean, you and I are from Zimbabwe, and we are in this country now, and which we are very grateful for.
Yes.
There are so many opportunities as far as I know. I do other things myself. So many opportunities. But what kind of advice would you want to give, not just because of farming, but what advice can you give to Zimbabweans who have come here? I know most of us are working in care jobs or in other jobs.
Just like the Bible says, I mean, there's time for everything. I mean, you come to the UK and the first thing you're not thinking about business. You're thinking about working for someone, working somewhere where you could get some money, first of all, to send back home before you even think of a business. But then comes a time when you're thinking, oh no, I need to get settled here. I need to buy a house. I need to, if possible, start a business. And for our children, I mean, they say the sky is the limit. I don't know. Yeah, definitely the sky is the limit. I mean, you can complain about racism, however, but there's nothing that stops a black child in this country to have any qualifications or to start any business. Nothing stops you except yourself. So we are our own worst enemies when it comes to that, and we tend to just want quick money. If you are thinking about farming, it's not quick money. It's a lot of work. I mean, right now, if you look over there, I've got some trees that I'm just planting. Them trees, probably they'll produce fruits in the next maybe 2-3 years. So I'm not looking at money tomorrow or in the next coming few months, but I'm thinking about 3, 4, 5 years down the line. So for our young men, you have got all the years ahead of you. And there's nothing that stops you from starting any business. Or if you want to pursue an academic, if you want to gain some academic qualifications, there's nothing that stops you from doing that. You're your worst enemy. If you fail, don't blame anyone. Don't blame racism. Don't blame the government. Don't blame your parents. Blame yourself.
I like the idea that you've said a little bit about racism, because that tends to happen. We just think we are foreigners here, or so and so they don't like us, or so and so. But I'm sure you have proved it that in this country you can actually do something and actually achieve and be successful. So I'm gonna say, like Mr. Manaka said, you can only be your worst enemy. But if you work hard in anything and you pursue it seriously, you can actually achieve it. Shops, how many shops have you got?
We've got a shop in London, one in Warsaw, West Midlands, and we're going to have one here in the next few months.
So 3 shops.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can people actually buy the products?
At the moment, you are selling online from our website, Manaka Fresh Farm Foods, and that is apart from the shops. And when it's harvest time, that is between July and November, we do deliver right across the UK.
All right.
Yeah, so we do have our vans all the way, I would say, from Southampton to Scotland.
Wow.
Delivering maize every single day.
Wow. There is a lot of deliveries. So that means you also employ, drivers.
Yeah. We usually have around 5 to 7 vans every day.
Wow. Amazing. That is amazing. I'd like to say thank you so much to Mr. David Manaka for allowing us to come and speak to him and see his farm. Unfortunately, it's winter, so there's not much to see, but we'll probably get a chance to just drive around and show, I don't know,